Good morning. This thing is acting strange. It says we've been doing this for like 3 minutes and I've been sitting here. That's not right. Anyway. So good morning, everybody. Hi, it is Stacy. We are Loving My Veteran, and this is Walking in My Shoes this morning. I hope everyone is having a wonderful morning. I just wanted to say hi and get our morning started. Have a little bit of coffee before we get too in depth on what we're going to talk about today. We always have our little things to say. So first, let me just get the housekeeping part out of the way. Y'all know that we're here to offer advice and just kind of talk and become a resource. We are not professionals. We cannot replace professional counseling. If you're in a crisis, you need to reach out and get help, because we have to put that in there. And all videos and their content are copyrighted to Loving My Veteran and Walking in My Shoes. So just wanted to throw that out at you. Lots going on, trying to get everything online. Good morning, Miss Melissa. So today's topic is going to be a little off topic from where we were going. It's still on building a healthy, happy, loving relationship, but watching all the stuff in the posts, because we do that all the time, it's made me realize that there's another topic we really need to bring up in order to do this, and it's about getting the static out of our life. Getting that static and removing that static from our life. Static is everything that we allow in to our bubble. You know, when you and a lot of you people, God knows I love you, this will show our age, but a lot of you are before those of us that are before the Pandora, XM, Sirius radio. We had radio stations that were staticky, and as you went from one part to another, you could like be listening to your favorite song, and as you were riding down the road, it would kind of go out and you get all this static up in the middle of it, and you were really trying to hear what was being played, but the static took over. And I think that's what we find in our relationships. Static takes over. Static takes over our life. And it comes in so many forms. So you can't really concentrate on what you need to concentrate on, because all this other stuff, the static, is in our lives. It makes it very difficult to go forward when there's static in our lives. And we see that with us, we see that with our veterans, we see it with so many other things that go on. We allow that to come into our lives. And I'm going to give you an example. How many times when you really have something to do and you're concentrating on what you have to do, you have your priorities, you know, you followed the game plan that we've all kind of talked about, and you're using a day planner, and you're scheduling things out, and you make a list of stuff that has to be accomplished, and then inevitably somebody calls to talk about their drama, right? They have a bad relationship with their spouse that night, their kids are being ugly, something has gone on, right? And it has brought static in, so you can't focus on the problem at hand or the objective at hand. We do it all the time. It comes into our lives. TV is another thing. You know, most of our veterans, or a lot of our veterans, are either one side or the other. They either don't watch the news or they obsess with watching the news. Okay, and I'm just going to throw this one out there because this is like one of my favorite news stories ever recently, is the whole thing about cows, and that we need a better environment and ecosystem. And so there's all this research being done at the federal level, good morning, Stephanie, at the federal level on whether or not cows are good for the environment. And so I get focused on this, right? And this little thing will pop across my news feed just somewhere, and I'm looking at the stupid cow, and they're worried about the cow fart messing up my environment, and all I want is the ribeye I have laid out on the counter for dinner. And so I don't think about what I have to do because I'm wrapped up in this cow that is farting, that has been here long before these people who were doing research on whether or not a cow is good for me. Good morning, y'all. Okay, so it's static, and we let it into our lives. Our veterans let it into their lives. We all let it in, and we get so focused on the static that we are not concentrating on what's truly important. Whether or not a cow farts is not important. And we do it all the time. And we let this drama and this static come into our lives. You know, and running a business, and those of y'all who do this and do work and are at work and doing your thing, how often is it? Yeah, we don't even watch the news anymore, but it comes across some stupid news feed, or Carl sees it on TikTok, or somebody has sent him a message with some drama, and now we're in drama mode. It happens. It's crazy. But how often, just even think about your work environment, right? So you go in, Stephanie's blessed because she works from home, but you go into work, even me working from home, I go in and I turn on the computer in the morning and I see dumb, static that we don't need. Y'all, we had some strange stalker guy up on this page, right? We had him on the page, and he was like messaging people, and it was horrible, okay? But rather than Michelle and I being able to concentrate on working on the things that benefit us and our community here, we had to concentrate on getting this guy off the page who was creepy, and then thank by the grace of God we followed through. It was a much bigger, uglier deal, but that got fixed. So that stopped. And then you have people who we scroll through and we watch, and you know, all of a sudden they're doing the same thing we're doing, and I'm like, we're not in competition with anybody else, right? We don't compete. We save veterans and we save their spouses, and that's what we do. But it's very discouraging when you see this and you're like, we could get caught up in that today. We could get caught up in that moment, but we don't do that anymore because I've said we're not allowing static in our lives. Because I tell, even when Carl gets worked up over something, and I know most of your veterans will go to this, they are, what are the words that Carl uses? He's wound, he's in a place, and it's dealing with things he can't control. But he's so busy concentrating on shit he can't control that it consumes that, and it stops the focus on the relationship and what needs to be about the things you can control. And we all do it. We all bring this static into our lives. We all allow the drama to come into our lives. You know, Stephanie is amazing. We know that on Wednesday night, she's not bringing any drama in her life when she takes her kids to ball practice, right? Because she gets in the little truck and she does her Wednesday thing for us, which we love and is amazing. But even when you drop your kids off at the ball practice, you got inevitably all these mothers that are sitting here going, did you know, did you see? And we get caught up in this drama. We can't fix that. So get rid of the static. It's important that we get rid of the static. You don't want the static in your bubble. Your bubble is very clear. It doesn't have static in it. You're not searching for a station because you know where you are. Right? You know where you are. And even when Carl gets wound or gets on something, I listen because he needs me to listen. because it's part of the venting cycle and it's part of the respect that we do for each other. But then I'm like, I'll say, you know what, hon? I can't fix that, and I don't have time for that. And we all need to learn those words. I can't fix that. I don't have time for that, and I can't control what other people do. And it's important we learn those verbiage. You're not going to be able to fix and work on your loving, caring, happy relationship with your spouse if you're sucked up in the drama from somewhere else. You're not going to have a happy, healthy, loving relationship with yourself if you were everybody else's drama catcher. You know, they sell these dream catchers all over everywhere, and they're absolutely beautiful. Y'all, I must have one that says drama catcher. Like this big thing. You know, I keep thinking about I need tattoos on my forehead. I love ink, but it's never going on my face, right? But I want these two things on my forehead. When my kids were little, I thought I needed ATM tattooed across my head. Now, it's like, ooh, you need to be the drama catcher. Now, it's way different when I'm talking about I choose to have communications with y'all in developing, this is what I do, in developing good relationships. I choose this. I choose this. I also choose what times I allow it in my life. I make the comment, this is called loving my veteran for a reason, because there are times I need to spend with him because I love him. So I allow, this is what I do, this is my job. I allow this in because it's my job. Okay? But I don't have to allow all the other static that comes in. I don't have to allow that to come into my life. We don't have to do that. We don't have to catch somebody else's drama. And I was talking to a girl on a one-on-one last night, which was so amazing. And all of a sudden, you know, I tell y'all, I learned so much more from you than I learned from anything that I could do. I learned from you. You guys empower me. So I learned this from her when we were talking about it yesterday. And we're talking about drama, and we're talking about being fixers. I will assure you that almost everybody who is watching this is a fixer. Okay? You by nature are a fixer. You are the one that everybody comes to fix their problems. You are the one that has always taken it upon yourself to fix the problem. Right? Good morning, Sophia. You are the fixer by nature. That's what you do by nature. And it's almost like that we took out an ad that says, hey, if you're broken, come see me because I'm going to take you in here today and come let me fix you. It's like we have an ad, like a whole ad on a thing that says, because it's happened my whole life. I mean, I don't care who it's been. It's been, dump your problem on me, I'll fix it. I'll handle it. I'll take care of it. I'll do it. And because by nature we are fixers, now we're in this amazing relationship with our veteran, and we get in our mindset that we can fix them. Well, one, you can't, so get over that theory, right? But when you're trying to develop that relationship with them, there's all this more drama coming in from everywhere else. From everywhere else. Of course it's you, Sophia, you're a nurse. But we're fixers, that's what we do. We bring in our own drama. Stop. Check it at the door. It's one thing to go to work And I did it as a paramedic, okay? I would go and I would treat my patients and I would listen to their stories, and I was caring and compassionate and I was there, but I can't bring every story home with me. I can't fix every story home with me. Right? And I know that Sophia sees that in her job. She wants to help those people because that's her nature. But you can't bring that home with you and think you're going to fix that. And their drama is not your issue. Drama is also stuff that people self-inflict. Drama is stuff that people self-inflict. So everybody else's drama is self-inflicted. Talking to y'all is my job, and I love it, and I learn from you, and it is supportive, and it is what we're supposed to do for each other as a community. That's just being a good human being, to lift each other up. But this other nonsense, look, y'all, I don't care who's sleeping with who. I gave up watching soap operas when As the World Turns went off the air. When they got rid of As the World Turns and The Guiding Light, I was done watching soap operas. And listen to what they were, the soap opera mentality. Who's sleeping with who? Whose kid's doing this? Who's doing that? Who's cheating on who at work? Who's done... Does that matter? No, it doesn't matter. Leave the drama out of your life. Focus on what's important. First bubble you got to focus on is your own. We got to check that drama at the door. There are things, people manipulate you in the real world. Now, that's hard to understand and hard to accept. But let me just throw this out here, because we are all the same way. We are fixers. We genuinely look for the good in people. That's who we are. And that makes us the polar opposite of our veteran almost all the time, because our veterans always look for the worst in people. They always look for the bad in people or the bad in situations. And we look for the good in people because that's the opposite of the polar opposites. And those of us that are fixers, right? You're right. Once you remove the drama and the negative people, you will feel 100%, but you do. So, we take all this in, but you have to stop and create your bubble. You got to stop and create your bubble. Who's sleeping with who is not something that you drew into your life. You can't always do that. You have to, and it is not self-serving, it is self-preserving to put yourself first. This is a big deal to learn. It is not self-serving. It is self-preserving to put yourself first. Can you control what is in your bubble? Yes. It's your bubble. You made it. Okay? Girl, I'm so glad. I being a stay-at-home mom, I literally don't have to interact with people. My vet is the open one. I judge them, not him. Absolutely. Sure, absolutely. Self-preserving is huge. Not letting stuff in your bubble is huge. You have to self-preserve. And how you self-preserve is to cut the crap out of your life. The stuff that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, who matters? Okay? Who matters at the end of the day? You, your spouse, your children. That's what you've got at the end of the day. That's who matters to you. That's what really matters. The rest of your family, yeah, they matter and they're important, and your friends are important parts of your life, but all their drama's not. My children are grown. The hardest thing being a parent that I had to learn with my grown children is, it is on them. Right? That was the hardest thing I had to learn as a parent. It is on them. Absolutely, sir. Self-preservation and self-care go hand in hand. Absolutely. But my kids' decisions as grown adults, whether I think they're good or bad, it's on them. If they want to go out and do something, that's on them. I can't control that, and I'm not going to bring that drama in. Will I listen to them? Yeah, I will. Am I going to fix it? Not anymore. I can't. They are grown, as my children say when it's convenient. Mom, I'm a grown-ass adult, or I'm a grown-ass man. You are. And guess what? Mommy doesn't have to be your fixer. And I love my children, and I would do anything for them. And in an emergency or in a real situation, you are absolutely right. I will do it all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. But their drama isn't mine. It isn't mine. So that's what I'm telling you. Get rid of the static. Get rid of the stuff. We have enough to do in our own lives to deal with us that we don't need everybody else's stuff. It doesn't mean you're not caring. It doesn't mean you're not empathetic. It doesn't mean that you're okay to listen. You can listen when it fits into your time and it's not interrupting your space, and when you determine it's necessary, but you don't have to carry their drama. It can go in, get it, listen to it, let them vent, and go on. It's not your job to carry their drama. It goes back to accountability. And there's certain things with our veterans that we don't have to carry that drama with us. If Carl gets in a place and gets wound and can't sleep and can't do something, as much as I love him, I can't make him do that. That is on him. If he wants to take all this stuff that people throw at him, whether it's on Facebook or whether it's a question that I have, or whether it's something dumb that I saw, like the stalker guy, and he wants to personalize that and think he can fix that or change that or take that upon himself to do, that is his drama, not my drama. That's on him. So learn to assign the drama. Doesn't have to be in your bubble. If they want it in their bubble, have fun with that. Not my bubble anymore. You have to get rid of the static, and when you do, your life will be 100 times better. When you learn to let things go and not take on everybody else's burden, your life will be 100 times better. Because let me tell you this, and this is not something anybody wants to hear, but it's the truth. How many of our veterans don't sleep good at night? Almost all of them. Right? I mean, that's a fact. They may sleep a lot, but are they really sleeping good at night? They don't. Right? What about me when I don't sleep? Y'all, I am cranky as a mofo when I don't sleep. So when you're taking everybody else's stuff and you're concentrating on it, you become emotionally tired. And remember what we talked about months ago. The opposite of your gifts, your strengths, is your weakness. So if you are kind by nature, and that is your strength, when you become emotionally tired, you become unkind and bitchy and crabby. So when you let all this drama and all this static in, you become the opposite. So it's because they don't sleep sound. When she said her sleeps all the time and is always tired, they don't sleep sound. They may appear to be, but they're not. There's stuff going on in their head, and then they can have sleep apnea and stuff, but that is a key factor to that. And we're going to talk about that all in next month, about some of the physical changes and what it does to their emotional well-beings and to ours. That's a big issue there. But y'all, turn the radio off. Get rid of the static in your channel. Stop keeping the drama as part of your life. People are accountable for their own actions. Not us. I'm accountable for mine. I am the one at the end of the day who is accountable for my actions. Carl is accountable for his. Everybody is accountable for their own. If you choose to ignore something, it's going to come back on you. If they choose to ignore something, it's going to come back on them. If somebody else chooses to ignore something, that is going to be on them. You can advise them, well, I think you ought to do this. But if you don't, it's not your problem. It's theirs. It's like the stuff we all talk about. We all are sitting here giving each other so many tips and suggestions and ways to work. And you know, Nakia gives us Ponder Points and Stephanie gives us Wellness Wednesdays, which I absolutely love. We all do it. And Elisa opens up on Tuesday afternoons for us and has a room for us to be able to chat in and do all of these things, right? So you can take the advice that we're giving you or the suggestions or the personal experiences and what works for you and doesn't work for you. But if you don't use them and you don't put them into practice and you don't try them and you're in the same place, that goes back on you. It's accountability. Just like if they have something that they have to deal with, whether it is, will you help them file a disability claim? Yes. Is it your job to file it for them? No. Simple. Will you take them to therapy? Yes. Can you make them participate in it? No. It's on them. If they choose to take the path of medication, will you help make sure that their medication stays filled? Yeah, you can. But are you going to be the one who pushes it down their throat and make sure they take it every day? No. Yeah. You think about, Kim sits here, even before meeting her veteran, she thinks about solving everyone else's problems. You gotta let it go. It keeps you awake all night. But there's accountability in here. So yes, people can dump their stuff on you. And you can listen because you can choose to do that in your time, in your bubble, in your space. And that's what we've already talked about. You have the right to. But accountability goes back to the other. You know, I can remember when my kids were little and helping them study for a test, right? And I did. But I wasn't the one who sat there in the test for them. That was on them. So you can give advice, you can listen, we can encourage each other like we are doing in this group, we can move forward, we can talk about all these things. But if you choose not to act on it, that's on you. It took her 3 days to realize what you were saying about talking calm and getting a better reaction. And you do. But it's on your time. And you will figure out what works for you. And it's easy, or it seems easy for me to spit this stuff out here. It's not easy, okay? It's done a lot of soul searching. But you take people who are in different levels, right? It takes people on different levels of where we are in our journey who can offer advice because we're all coming in at different places. Kim is sitting here, Sarah's sitting here saying that it took her a second to get out of the why should I change. You're going to change because you want to be a happier person. And you're going to see that it affects your relationship because you don't want the same thing to happen. And if he's seeing the change, then he's going to change to meet the change. That's coming. But they do see it. But that's on you. If you want to take the advice, great. If you don't, so be it. We don't care. It's about your drama and your accountability. And it's about our veterans' accountability. I can be there for him every minute of the day. I can tell him that the girl next door is not an whole long story, but not going there. I can say, don't worry about her, honey. Just don't worry about her. She's nothing to worry about. But I can't make him not worry about her. But I can remove that drama from me, and when he continues to worry about her, it's not back in my bubble. I turn the radio station off. Next. And that's where it is. That's where we are. You're going to keep going, and Sarah, you're going to make mistakes and you're going to fall backwards, but you're going to pick it up and you're going to go forward again, and that's what it's about. We're not perfect. God didn't make any of us perfect. I assure you, I make so many mistakes every single day. But all I'm asking you today is to turn, when the radio gets staticky, is turn it off. You don't need the interference. It's going to screw up you and your head. And she says, so many times you hear their drama when they really want to fix the drama. Yeah. And by nature, they're fixers, okay? So by nature, they're fixers. And Carl is always talking to me about, you're letting the drama in your life, you're letting the drama in your life, you're letting the drama in your life, da-da-da-da-da. Look, I let it go, and he's still talking about the damn drama that's in my life. Because, you know, they're like lamb chopping, the song that never ends. So when they get focused on something, it just keeps going. Nope, lamb chop is not my bubble. I have a lamb chop, and I love her. I have a little lamb chop toy. Right? And so you're going to see that it becomes more and more bearable every single day. It becomes better and better every single day. Carl and I didn't get to where we are overnight. And we're not perfect. We didn't get to where we are overnight. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of doing what we talk about on here, doing it and putting it into practice. And I do it every day, and there's days that I don't. Yes, I know, Stephanie. And I even have a lamb chop toy, just so you know, because it makes me excited. I'll bring it tomorrow so y'all can see it. But it took us a lot of work and a lot of practice. But every single day our relationship gets better, and I'm learning how to deal with trigger issues and relationship issues and how I let PTSD control my relationship. That was the hardest part. That I allowed PTSD to control my relationship with him because I was afraid of triggering him. And that's not true. We had way bigger relationship things. If you do everything for them, they will never learn to be proud of the daily accomplishments and stand on their own 2 feet. And that's true about everybody, Kimberly. Narcissistic relationships are bred, not born. And I can say that because for 28 years I was married to one. Narcissistic relationships are bred, not born. People learn from what they're allowed to do. And the path of least resistance creates a lot of issues. How to heal, how to communicate, and live the life we want, things will start to fall into place in your relationship. It's true. Because if you're miserable, they sense that. If you're miserable, they sense that. They don't want to be about a miserable, crabby-ass woman. I mean, think about it. When you're out with people, do you go hang out with the people who are sitting around sulking, miserable, and crabby and bitchy all the time? No. You go out with people who are happy and enjoying their life. You don't hang out with crabby people. So be the person you want to be. Be the person you want your veteran to file into, and all of that will start to fall into place. But as long as you're still bitter and you're still angry and you're not healing and you're not communicating and you're not living your life, as long as all that's going on, All that static is all involved. Good. Ask what they did during the day and start pointing out the wins, and they'll start finding them. I'm telling y'all, the victory cards are the greatest thing ever. I used to hang them up. At first I thought it would send Carl into orbit, right? When I wrote down our victories. And they weren't just his, they were ours. Like, I did this today and he did that today. And I literally would hang them on the wall. And at first I thought he would go into orbit because I was pointing out things that were wrong. It had the exact opposite effect. So in front of my desk, I had all my little victories hung up and his victories, and I wrote them. And I was happy, and I put smiley faces on them. And he would glance at them when he walked by, and then he stood and started reading them. And then he realized the changes that were coming and proudness that I was of his victories and my victories and our victories. And all of a sudden, you started seeing the good. That's why I tell you that a day, we don't have good days and bad days. We have good moments and we have bad moments. And you need to relish the good moments and write them down. When you are going through this journey and you think that you're not succeeding at it, if you start writing down your victories and your good moments, and then that day you're in that deep, 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 dark place, in that deep, dark place, you start flipping through when you say, why am I doing this? And you start flipping through the victory cards and you realize the success that you've had, you will do it again and again and again. Because you realize you're not where you were. And it's important. It is, it's very difficult to not allow their PTSD to change you. But what happens is that we do this, and we have to create that bubble. And that is super important, and it is super hard. So start with a small bubble and work your way out. Always make your fence movable. Always make your fence movable. Set your boundaries tight in the beginning, one boundary at a time, and just start moving it back so you create the bubble or the boundary that makes you happy. And it will work. I promise you it'll work. All right, so let me wrap this up today. I know that was a little off from where I said we were going to go, but I just thought it was needed, and it was just one of those things that came into being here. Lots going on. Newsletter did go out finally. I finally got the hang of that in the spare time. So I will start working on the next one. Any points, anything you think we need to contribute to the newsletter, please let me know. Don't forget that we're going to have my dear friend Mama Let's coming on Let's Talk on March the 4th. That'll be the first one in March. We have Let's Talk tomorrow night. Just so we can talk about a whole bunch of things. Bring your veterans. If they won't want to come by yourself. You can put your headphones in. They don't have to be on screen. You can block the screen out if they want to hear, but we'll have veterans on there and us talking, and we've just become a huge family on that lovely little critter there, and I love it, and I look forward to that every Thursday night. What else good stuff have we got going on? We have our Caregiver Heroes starting in March, and we've already picked, I took the liberty of picking her. That will be Miss Nakia. She is our caregiver hero because what she did to keep Richard alive is amazing, and we learn from her every single day. Any of you guys want to get together, we need to record a girl talk. So just kind of shoot me a message and say, yes, Stacy, I want to be on Girl Talk, where we'll kind of do just what we're doing here. We just bring 3 or 4 people on and we talk about some issues, and we put that on the YouTube channel. It's kind of nice just to talk. So we need to do that. So if you guys want to pop into that, let me know in a time period that works for us. And I think that's kind of where we are. Y'all have a blessed day. Anything other topics we need to talk about, y'all make sure you let us know. This is your community and we love you. I am Stacy. This has been Walking in My Shoes, and we are loving my veteran. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Write comments and reviews, please, on the videos that have affected you positively or negatively. We want them both. Please put those on there. it is the way that we're going to be able to continue to fund this operation. It is, I will be happy to repost that link. I do it all the time, and I will repost that link so that you can share it with your veteran, because we have an amazing time. I'll put it on there right now. But please make sure you do the reviews on YouTube and other great stuff, because that's how we get sponsors to monetize this lovely little thing that we do here, so that we can continue to provide these services and the rest that are coming forward. Y'all have a blessed day. I'm Stacy, walking in my shoes, loving my veteran. Thank you for being part of our family. Bye.